Hey guys, it's Jason with Boardgame Mechanics, and today we're going to take a look at the newest game from Talon Strike Studios, and that game is called Shadow Network. Shadow Network is a game from Talon Strike Studios for 1 to 4 players. Plays in about 45 to 60 minutes, depending on how quickly or, how many players you have. And what you're trying to do in this is you are going to be spies, and you're going to be trying to send your a spy network, I guess. You're going to try to send your agents out to the board to collect different types of intel to fulfill contracts. This is effectively a resource management, resource conversion game where you're trying to collect certain types of intel to turn it into other kinds of intel, score a pile of points. There's some other interesting pieces about this is when you visit a space, you're going to leak some intel because sometimes spies get either, found out or somebody finds out about their secrets. So it's going to leak intel to other spaces on the board, which is pretty cool. So it's going to make other spaces that you may not want to go to more enticing. So that's enough talking about it. Let's go on the table, check it out. All right, so here's a game of Shadow Network, all set up for 2 players. I do have it set up for 2 players, but I'm only going to show 1 player board because it's just a big player board. So the other one's going to be off screen. But we're really just going to focus on the red player because I'm going to show you all the actions that happen just from this player's perspective. I'll use the other pawn just so you can, see what happens. All right, so to set up, you're going to put out the board like this. In a 2-player game, you're going to lock the following areas, and you're going to take those cities out of the black market deck. And then in a 2-player game, you're going to shuffle, flip 3 black market cards, put the tokens on the corresponding cities. That's these tokens right here. Then in each of the cities, you're going to put a secret item and leaked secret intelligence and leaked intelligence here, and according to the space. So I have A1, A2, B1, B2, so on and so forth. You're going to put the 12 handlers up here on the top of the board. You can only see 6 of them, but there's another row of handlers. You're going to shuffle the contracts, flip them face up, have 3 out here. Each player is going to get a starting handler, a player board, and you're going to get 3 of these cards, the contract cards, and you're going to discard 1, and that's the intelligence that you're going to get. So I've done that already. So this player discarded the cards, gives them a blue and a red. Then you're going to put 2 of your workers on the phone. They're your available workers, and you're going to have a black market action board over here so you know what you're going to do there. And then I think we're just going to go ahead and play, and I'll kind of explain what happens here. So what you're going to do is this game is going to be broken down into 3 phases. The first phase is you're going to reset the black market, which we're not going to do on round 1. Then what we're going to do is we're going to do our espionage and analysis. So for espionage, that basically means send the worker out to one of the locations, get the intel, and then leak some intel. That's what we're going to do. So let's go, data. It's called data, I guess. So what do I need? I want to be able to make some yellow and purple suitcases, and this is a prototype, so the red marker here is actually should be purple. So let's go ahead and go here. I'm going to go to New York. I'm going to get 3 yellow, so I'll take the 3 yellow intel, which is also political intel, and I'm going to put it on my player board like that. I'm also going to get a red or a purple, and as of right now we only have 8 spots on our board, so we're going to use that. And then we're also going to have to leak some intel. So there's going to be a purple that goes anywhere on E, so I can put it on any of the E locations that I want to. So I'll just go ahead and put it there. And there's going to be 2 greens that will go on B, and you can disperse those however you want. So I'll go ahead and put 1 on each of the B locations because that feels like the good thing to do. And then that will be the end of that, and I can start doing my analysis. The second player would then place. So they'll go ahead and place, and then I'm going to show what happens while they're placing. So they're going to go ahead and place here. They'll take 2 yellows, and I'm going to put it on the board. But they're going to leak an influence in C, so they'll put that down here. Then they're going to leak a yellow in E, so I'll throw that over here. All right, so then while they were doing their worker placement, while all the other players are doing worker placement, I'm going to do analysis. So analysis is pretty easy. You have 3 things you can do. You can use a handler, which means you discard that many of intel of that color to get that. You can use a handler 3 times, and each handler can only be used once per turn. You You can make briefcases, which I'm going to try to do right now so you can at least see that. And you can use milestones, which milestones are going to be how you're completing these cards, discarding them for resources, or taking influence. And I'll explain the pertinence of influence kind of as I'm going. So I'm going to make a briefcase first. So I'm going to take this. It takes 3 yellows. So I have 3 yellows. And I'm going to make a briefcase. So when you make a briefcase, you'll put the pieces over here. You discard the excess. And because I made a yellow briefcase, I get 1 influence. Influence is basically points at the end of the game. And you're going to spend those when you take black market actions to get intel. You're going to spend influence whenever there's a worker on a board of a space that you want to go to, so on and so forth. Then, can I do anything else? I have 2 purples and a blue. I cannot do anything else, so that's all I'm going to do there. I didn't cross any milestones. I don't have anything to use my handler, so I'm done. And yeah, you can see in these columns here, whenever that gets full, I'll get that many points. Same down here. And the little dotted lines, if you can see those, that's the milestone. So whenever I would build a second blue briefcase, I could take one of the milestone actions, which is complete a contract, discard a contract for resources, or take 3 influence. So then it's back to red's turn because green did all their stuff. So, not those guys. I'm going to take a black market so you can kind of see that. So I'll go here. I'll take 2 green, which is military. If I can get it out of the stinking jar. There we go. So 2 green. And then I will also take 1 influence. And I have to leak a red or a purple to E. So let's go ahead and put it over there. And then I have to leak 2 greens to a B. So let's put those right there. So that area is getting tempting. All right, now, oh shoot. I looked at the wrong ones. Sorry. A blue and 3 yellows. So a blue to E. Learn to read. Blue to E. And then 3 yellows to a B. So let's go ahead and just put that back there. All right. Now I get to take a black market action. Black market actions there are 4 things you can do over here. You can do each of them one time. You can spend influence for intel. You can spend influence to bring in another guy onto your board, but you're going to have to pay them later. You can spend influence to take more contracts, or you can spend an influence to get a new handler on the board to give you extra actions you can take on your turn. So all I want to do, I think, with that is I'm going to take another handler. So I'll spend an influence. You can take any handler you want that's on the board. I'm going to take something that uses green. So let's take this guy. He comes on my board. Once he's used 3 times, he goes back to the board. So you're basically just bribing them to help you out for a little bit. Then I'm going to take some intel cubes. So I want to make some purple briefcases. So I need 2 more purple cubes, which is 6 influence. I don't have that much. I don't even have 4. So let's go ahead and do 2. I'm not going to do any of that. So I'll just spend an influence to get another guy, another worker. So then this guy will slide over. He'll be available for me to use. All right, now I'm going to go into my analysis. Same thing. I can make briefcases. I can use a handler. Each of the handlers once. I can cross milestones. So let's go ahead and use this handler. So let's go here. I discard 1 green, put it there. I'll get 2 yellows. Come on. My fingers are terrible. 2 yellows and a purple. And at any time you can spend 4 influence to remove this for extra spaces in your inbox, but I'm not going to do that right now. Now I can make some, I can use another handler if I want to, which I don't think I'm going to do. I can't make any briefcases. That's terrible. Yeah, so that's it. I can't make any briefcases because I don't have the combinations, and I can't use this handler because I don't have 2 yellows. So that's it. Green did all their stuff. I'll go ahead and put a dude on the board just so, you know, can make it accurate. So let's say green went here. So green wants to go here. They're going to take the appropriate stuff, but in order to use this space, they have to give me an influence because I'm already there. So they'll do all their things, leak leak this out. 2 greens to B. So let's put those right there. All right. That's back to my turn. I have my last guy unless I do a black market action. You know, I'm going to go ahead and go, ooh, man, I want purple. I'm going to go right here. So I'm going to get 1 red or purple, 2 influence, which is really good. And then I'm going to leak a yellow and a green. Yellow is going to go to C, which would be here. Nope, that's D. C, and green will go to E. We'll put it right there. And then I get to take a black market action again, and I'm going to go ahead and take one purple. Ooh, nope, I can't do that. I need my influence. So I'm actually not, yeah, that's fine. I'll spend, nope, I'm not gonna do it. So I'm done. Done using the black market. I'll take a contract. So I'll just take a contract. I'll take this contract. You have 3 to choose from. You have the top one and then the other 2. You can take any of them. I can pay an influence to take 2 more or take another one, but any that you don't finish are negative points. So you got to kind of keep that in mind when you're taking contracts. So I did my black market. Now I'm going to do my analysis. I'm going to make a purple briefcase, which takes 4 purples. I'll put that right here. That's going to give me 7 influence, which is pretty rock solid. And then I'm going to have 2 yellows and a green. I can't do anything with that, but I can discard this green for 2 yellows and a red, which will do. 2 yellows and a red intel. Then I'm going to use 3 of those yellows to make a yellow briefcase. So we will make the yellow briefcase. That'll give me another influence. And then I didn't cross any milestones, so I can't complete anything. And I am done. And that'll be the end of the round. So let's go over the end of the round real quick, and then we'll wrap it up. All right, so at the end of the round, a few things happen. First thing you're gonna do is you're gonna put influence out wherever there's not an agent. So we'll put one here, here. It's called incentive. So we're gonna incentivize these locations to make people go there, which is pretty cool. So that is done. Then what you're gonna do is you're gonna take all your workers back to your phone. And I thought I had 3. Where's my 3rd guy? Oh, wait, that's the wrong color. Take all 3 of these guys back. And then you have to pay their wages. The wages you have to pay are based on how far you are here. So I have to pay 6 influence. And if you can't do that, you gotta put workers back. It becomes a hassle, so don't do that. Then what you're gonna do is you're going to advance the round marker, and you'll pass the first player marker to the next player, and you keep going. The game is going to end after the end of round 4. Then what you're going to do is you're going to score up your points. You're going to get points for all of your influence, all the cards that you completed. So if I completed it during the game, they're worth the points on the left here, the most points. At the end of the game, you can also still try to complete some. They'll be worth the middle. But if you can't complete it, you lose 3 points. So you want to definitely do that. And if you do all that, you add up your score. If there's a tie, whichever did the highest contract, if there's still a tie, it says to play the game again to try to break the tie. So that's it. That's Shadow Network, a quick playthrough, quick overview of a round to kind of give you the gist. So let's go up to the top, see what you think about it. All right, well, that was Shadow Network. First off, right up at the top here, I want to say this is a prototype. Everything you saw in the video is a prototype. These pieces are not going to be 3D printed in the final copy. The red is not going to be red because it should be purple. All those kinds of things. But so that all that, the components are prototype, but I still like the way the board and the player board looks. The board has like, it looks like a map. It's got like light coming through a window. You got like shadows on it. It looks really cool. The player board looks like somebody's desk, which I think is really awesome. Kind of has like the game Covert. I don't know if you've ever heard about that, but it's a similar type of thing where you're a spy from like the Get Smart time, so 50s or 60s. And this kind of has that same theme and feel, and I dig that. So let's talk about gameplay. So this is a worker placement game. You're going to send your workers out to the board to collect different types of intel. But the cool thing about this one is it's going to, when you go to a space, you're going to then fill other locations around the board with intel to make those spaces more enticing. And I think that is a really clever mechanism because it just makes spaces that maybe I didn't want to go visit more appealing. So, you know, like in my run through, I loaded up a couple reds on that space over there in E. I didn't want to go to E, but now that there's 2 reds and some influence on it, I may go check it out. So I think that is awesome and super clever. I also like the conversions of how you're creating the briefcases. So you think, you know, I only need to make a yellow briefcase, I only need 2 yellows, but you need 3. And then when you're getting into the multicolored briefcases, you need a pile of intelligence. So you're trying to figure out the best way to do that, how to use your handlers to ensure that you can do that, how to make sure you have enough influence to pay your people. You're trying to balance a lot of things here, and it feels good to me. Not a hard game by any means. You're just following, you know, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. You're just doing all that. It's easy, but it's satisfying when you're trying to get the intel you need to make the briefcases, and it's super satisfying when you cross a milestone and you complete that contract for 20 points or 20 influence. That feels good. That feels great. So this game is awesome. I love the spy theme. I think it needs to be done in more games. I know there are a decent amount of games that have it, but not a lot of them are good. This is a good one. And the theme, I think, works with this game. I don't know what other theme you could have that would work as well as this one. I'm not a big theme guy. Everybody knows that. But this theme on this one just matches what you're doing in the game to a T, and I dig it. So enough talking about it. I'm just going to give this a BGM accepted seal. This is going to get an 8 out of 10 from me, which is a 4 out of 5 wrenches on an arbitrary wrench scale. That means absolutely nothing. But we like to give it the games that we enjoy. So that's what I'm going to do. So this is good. I dig it. So that was Shadow Network from Talon Strike Studios. I'm Jason with the Board Game Mechanics. And as always, keep gaming.